Afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the 17th edition of Medgini's webinar. The topic for today is how do we transit the journey from doctor's desk to chemist's shelf, which is closing the RX availability gap. So with that, we are going to start today's session. And today's session is special because we have got two great speakers who are joining us from the industry. Viral from Lupin and Rupesh sir from Valis Pharma. So with that, we will be now starting off this particular session. I would request you to please share in your background, where you're joining us from and what exactly is your location. So please put in your name, location, and background to help us connect with you. A request from the speakers, if you can keep your audio on, we will be in a better position to connect with you. So keep notes ready. The duration of the entire webinar is until 1 o'clock. After 1 o'clock, we'll be having question answers. You can definitely park your questions in the chat. My team will be able to take it up. We will be able to answer to this after 1 o'clock once the sessions get completed. So with that, let's start. So please put in your background as well as your location where you're joining us from. And thank you so much for joining in. Please put in your name, background, and location. Surya is joining us from Hyderabad. Anshit is joining us from Sultanpur, Uttar Pradesh, Sipla. Welcome, Anshit. We've got more than 111 registrations for today, and normally we see people joining in. And we've got Utkarsh, who is joining us from Nagpur. Welcome, Utkarsh. Rajiv, sir, who is joining us from Arena Life Sciences. Thank you, Rajiv, sir, for joining us today. Sandeep, thank you, join us from Surat. Rajiv Kiran is joining from Chennai. He's a product manager. Welcome, Ravi. Ravi is joining
Yeah.
us from Chennai.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Hi. Rajesh is joining us from Hyderabad. Great. So while we have this introduction, let me give you a background of what we are doing and why do we do. The webinar today is basically focusing on RX as well as the availability. When we talk about chemist availability, which is a critical challenge for any pharma company, be it a large pharma company, small pharma companies, and the problems can definitely be arrested if we have a thought process or a system and a process in place. With that keeping in mind, we are going to address 5 key areas in today's webinar. One very hot topic, which is chain pharmacy. As we all know, chain pharmacy plays a very important role, and head office strategy and marketing team plays a very important role in leveraging and having a strategic alliances with the chain pharmacy. How do we do that? And how can we actually leverage the chain pharmacy who has got a very good reach so that your availability is addressed? Second question, what we are going to address today is about quick commerce. We all are aware quick commerce is going to play a very big role in the pharma industry in the coming days. We'll deep dive into this particular area. Tools and practices. So what are the tools and practices that pharma companies utilize so that they are aware about the availability and they give the respective confidence to the doctor? The fourth area of discussion today is what are the steps that you need to do if you are launching a brand? How do you ensure that availability happens across the key counters? The fifth area of discussion today is talking about how do you communicate and how you make the patient journey easy by making the availability of medicines. So that might be cutting across chronic therapy as well as super specialty. So these are the 5 key areas of discussion that we are going to have today. If you have anything else that you would like to ask our speakers, please park in your particular questions in the chat and my team will be happy to take this after one. So we have got something benefit for our participants who are joining us today. We'll be translating the entire conversation that we are going to have today with the speakers into an ebook format, which will be released next week by Thursday. This will be sent to you by email for all the participants who are there with us by end of the webinar. We are also doing a self-audit activity, which will help you understand your current state of availability. So keeping that in mind, the people who will be participating, the 3 winners will be getting a book, which is Sentiment Analysis for Pharma Marketeers. The author for the book is Subha Rao, and the book will be delivered to you in a hard copy to your doorstep. The 3 winners who will be participating the fastest will be getting this particular book. The self-audit is purely activity for you to realize where do you stand currently, and there is no correct, there is no wrong answers to it, and we are here to learn from each other and grow how exactly we can from the expert guidance which we are getting from our speakers today. So it's about me. I am heading Medgini. I am based out of Hyderabad. We have operations based out of Mumbai as well as Bangalore. I have done my master's in marketing communication from Symbiosis Institute of Business Management in 2004. I have transited from being an employee to an employer, and I head this particular organization, which is a 30-member team. I have been recognized by Business World 40 Under 40 in 2021 for the contribution that I am doing in the healthcare. So with that, I also cherish my world with my parents, my wife, and two sons based out of Hyderabad. I would now like to introduce our first speaker for today, which is Viral Pandya. Viral Pandya has joined us today, and she has come with 20 years of experience in pharma. Viral is a seasoned leader in driving commercial excellence and digital transformation. At Lupin, she oversees sales force effectiveness for over 10,000 medical representatives, steering brand strategy, CRM systems, and data-driven execution. She has held leadership roles in Abbott, Panacea, and IPCA. Her expertise spans go-to-market planning, business forecasting, and agile team enablement across therapy divisions. A regular industry speaker and faculty in pharma strategy, she brings both strategic depth and practical execution to the table. She holds executive credential from IIM Bangalore and PGDBM from Wellinker Institute and an MSc in biochemistry. Let's welcome Viral to Medgini's 17th Pharma webinar.
Thank you, Ashish.
Thank you, Viral. Thank you so much for joining in. And anything that I'm missing here, please do share.
No, you've very comprehensively covered all points.
Yeah, thank you. So with that, we have got a second speaker for today's session, which is Rupesh Jain. Rupesh Jain comes with 30 years of experience in pharma. Rupesh Jain has driven impactful growth across field sales, product management, and marketing leadership. Currently heading marketing for 4 divisions at Valis Pharma with a portfolio of 260 crores. He is known for reviving heritage brands and building long-term equity. He has successfully scaled brands in gastro, ortho, rheumatology, cardiodiabetic, dermatology, and gynecology, and has held portfolios at Medley, IPCA, DWD. He has started his career in 1993 as a medical rep in Indore. That's where he was born, brought up in, and he has completed his MBA in marketing and B.Pharm and brings strategic clarity grounded in 3 decades of on-ground experience. Let's welcome Rupesh Jain to Medgini's 17th Pharma webinar.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, sir. So with that, we would now like to introduce the topic. RX availability is definitely a critical area of concern for many pharma companies, as we have talked about. When we talk about RX availability, there are 3 areas that we would like to cover our entire discussion, which is segmentation, targeting, as well as positioning. So when we talk about RX availability, the thought is basically prescription generation is very much important. Definitely, it is the critical thing for the business, but that may not definitely lead to dispensing if you don't have the product available at the chemist store. So imagine a doctor, orthopedic or URK Rao, based out of Hyderabad, writes a medicine and the medicine is not available at the attached counter or the store, then that leads to a bounce prescription or substitution in certain cases. We are also talking about visibility gaps. If the product is not visible, it leads to loss of revenue. If the retailer is not engaged, or probably the retailer is not keeping your particular brand, then the retail trade channel is under leveraged. So what are the big companies doing currently to ensure that the availability happens? Data is very much important. We were having a casual discussion with Viral as well as Rupesh, and they were saying that data is definitely available, but the problem is the sanity of the data and the accuracy of the data, for which yeah, can you team, can you please keep on mute? Thank you. So, data is very much critical for all of us. And with that, we would now like to talk. We have speakers with comes with about 30 years, 20 years of experience. So, sir, what exactly has changed? Rupesh, sir, you come with 30 years of experience and you have seen areas where companies used to do RX availability. And do you feel the challenges remains the same, or with the new tools and the technology revolution that we are currently in, has things really changed? What exactly has been your observation, sir?
Thank you very much, Ashish. Very interesting question, in fact, and uh, uh, I think, when I try to answer this question, I will have to put in all my, 32 years of experience into it, because I have been into this right from the days when I was a medical representative, doing it myself at the retailers. Then, for many years, teaching medical representatives, demonstrating them how to do it, and then in the product management and in the marketing functions, guiding brand managers to do it. See, as far as the challenges, it was always a challenge right from the beginning. When we talk about, 90s also, making the product available was a challenge that time also. It is still a challenge. Okay. So the biggest question is whether demand first or supply first. Okay. So even those days when you go to into a retailer shop, they would always say, I still remember they used to say that let the prescription come first and then we will make the product available. Because there are so many companies, there are so many brands, there are so many variants. We cannot keep everything, and let you generate prescription. Don't worry about the availability. Even today when I do field work, I hear the same statement from the retailers that let the prescription come first and then we will make the product available. So that basic challenge of making the product available at the retail counter, it is still there. But I would say that the changes which has happened in so many years is, when we started the career, it was altogether a responsibility of the field sales team to make the product available. So the marketing team, the head office, the strategic team would tell them that, okay, we are going to launch this product, and they would talk everything about the product. They will plan everything about the strategy around the doctors as to how to generate prescription. But there was not much strategic thought process on how to make the product available at the retail counter. So they were only saying that, okay, you identify the doctor, target the doctor, and make the product available at, say, 10 retailer, 20 retailer. You use your regularity, you use your RCPAs, you use your own personal relationship with the retailer and make it available. So it was a one-way instruction which was going from the marketing team to the field sales people, that make the product available, and then through some formats and all, we were checking whether the product is available or not. After some years, when I was in product management, we also used to ask fax copies from the field just to validate whether it is actually available or not. Those days were the days when the internet was not very happening and the mobiles were not so common. So the fax was the medium of communication. But now it is, the scene is entirely changed. So now it is no more only the responsibility of the field sales people to make the product available, but it is a collaborative effort. So even the marketing team is equally involved. There is, we're talking about segmentation, positioning, targeting, we're talking about the how part of it. And we are talking as to how the product management team and the marketing team and the SFE, all these people will make a team and help the product, available in the market. So because the formats have changed, there are so many, if you talk about the segments, so it is not only the brick and mortar mom and pop stores, but it is, there are so many other things, like the chain pharmacy we are talking about today, the online pharmacies, the hospital pharmacies, the generic stores, the hybrid model, uh, the direct to doctor supply things. So there are so many segments which are now available, and everything requires a different approach. Everything requires a different strategy. So in one line, if I have to say what has changed, the roles and responsibilities have changed. So earlier it was only a medical rep, but now the entire team, including the marketing team and the SFE, has to come into the picture and make the product available.
Great. Thank you so much, Rupesh sir. You have been clearly talking about segmenting to whom you want to make the product available, and then you are talking about strategies on how to make it available. So we'll deep dive on what exactly you have just told today. Viral, what's your thought? What exactly has changed? You have started your career and now you are heading strategy, you are heading Salesforce effectiveness at one of the largest companies in India. How exactly things have changed for availability?
So I would completely echo and second what Rupesh ji just said. See, the problem still exists. It is always a chicken and egg story. And someone also mentioned in the chat कि पहले prescription निकालो फिर available करो या पहले available करो फिर prescription निकालो. So I would say the challenge still persists. What has changed in this entire year is how we are addressing this challenge. Initially, the visibility was poor that what exactly is happening. Now, because of the tech advancement which is there, because of the integrated solutions which are available both with the company and the visibility which is available right at the medical rep level, it is becoming we can take a strategic decision based on that data earlier, which was there in a fragmented manner, that there was a lot of collation which was required of the data, there was a lot of manual entries. So now with the visibility of the data, what has changed is how are we addressing that issue. And one more very critical thing which Rupesh ji already mentioned is that now it is more of a collaborative effort. It is not just a responsibility of a medical rep, but because of the integrated solution and the tech and visibility which is available, the collaborative effort. So there are a lot of very specific chemist level drives which are happening. There are retail strategies in place, which when I look back 20 years back, when we were making brand strategies, it was only specifically pertaining to HCPs, to doctors. But now, when we are making brand strategies, it is more holistic. You have the entire piece becomes a stakeholder management. So it is not just restricted to your HCPs, but what are you doing for your patients? What activities and strategies you're doing for chemist management and activities for the chemist. So it has become more integrated, more comprehensive. That is one change, but this challenge, I would say, is still it still persists.
Perfect. So with that, we have got something for our participants. I would now request you all to please scan the QR code or click on the link which is put on the chat. This activity is activity which we have jointly developed along with our speakers with their experience of 50 years, 20 plus 30, as well as the experience with Medgini carries in terms of helping pharma companies to make product available. So there are 10 questions that we are having, 9 questions that we are having, and there are multiple choice answers. I request you to please click on the link my team has put on the chat and participate on the particular audit activity. And the 3 people who will be participating and responding the first will be able to get this particular book, which is Sentiment Analysis for Pharma Marketeers. We'll be announcing the winners by the end of the webinar by around 1 o'clock. So please stay tuned with us. And if you are done, please type in done in the chat. If you have any difficulty in terms of participating or following the link, please do contact our team, which is there in the chat. We've got Surya and Renuka, who is there, part of our team, who can help you participate in the survey. So please do participate. We've got 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, we'll be deep diving into the critical areas, what we have talked about with our speakers, Viral and Rupesh. Thank you. If you are done, please type in done in the chat. Saif, thank you so much. You are responding the fastest. And I'm sure you would have got some kind of self-reflection activity after doing this. Thank you, Ratan. Omkar, thank you so much. A response to this activity will also be sent to your email ID. So in future, you want to reflect on the answers that you have made. It will be something very beautiful. The intent of today's webinar is to take out something practical which you can implement and ensure that your availability challenges improves from the days to come. And there are definitely a lot of elements which, when we talk about availability, and the discussion will be deep dive across various categories, be it acute therapy or chronic therapy. We are also going to talk about patient demographic as well as how chain pharmacy and quick commerce will play a very important role. So with that, we would now like to move forward in terms of the first topic for today's discussion, which is segmentation. When we are talking about segmentation, the pharma industry is evolving and availability challenges are not uniform because they are different across different geographies. They are different when we are talking about the type of retail outlet, like what Rupesh sir just told, a doctor attached chemist counter, hospital attached pharmacy versus a standalone chemist, the strategy will be very different when we are talking about availability. When we are talking about product category, be it acute and chronic, the availability challenges will also be very different. The approach which will be taken by the company for a OTC brand versus a chronic brand will be very, very different. When we are talking about patient demographics, it's very important for us to understand what type of product will sell the most in what type of areas based on the patient demographic profiles. So segmenting the market helps brand prioritize which channel, region, or consumer group to focus on so that the RX substitution or drops doesn't happen. With that, the first question which has come from our participants is about chain pharmacy. We all understand that the field is doing a lot of effort in terms of making the product available at the chemist counters which are attached to the doctors and also the chemist counters which are important. So we would like to know, understand from you. So we'll start with Viral. We'll start with you. How are companies leveraging chain pharmacy to increase the availability of products? So can you please give us some light how exactly you are tackling this challenge? Is there a separate team to manage the relationship with the chain pharmacy?
So, see, definitely this is one of the important channels which is opening up. And if we are not present into this particular segment, then we are losing out onto the opportunity. Just before this, we were discussing about that has the challenge changed in last 20 years and 30 years regarding the availability. Now, when we are talking about retail pharmacies or the retail chains, when we have a tie-up with them, we solve that particular challenge. Because moment we have tie-up, as of now, when a medical rep or at a ground level, when we struggle to make a product available at say 5 chemist counters, with that tie-up, immediately it is available at 40 to 50 retail stores. So that is the benefit. So if you're not present, if as a company, if you're not present onto this particular channel, then we are missing out onto the opportunity, because if prescriptions are going onto that channel, then it will not be honored, the prescription will get bounced. So number one point, it is that it is imperative that we have to be present in that channel. Now, the next question is that how do we ensure that we are present and we are optimally leveraging this growth opportunity? So, definitely looking at the quantum of business, at the CAGR, which this particular segment is generating, it is important that we should have a focused and a dedicated team for that. Because this cannot be managed by the regular team who's managing the regular business, because then it will become too much of the responsibilities, too much of the to-do list for the existing sales representative. So certainly we require a very, very specific, dedicated division who is managing this growth opportunity, because it immediately increases your visibility. It also increases your availability, which are the two important parameters to have a sustainable business.
So, with that, Rupesh sir, you have been handling 4 divisions in Wales. You have done work in various other companies, be it Medley, IPCA, DWD. How are you leveraging the chain pharmacy, Wellness Forever, Med Plus, Apollo? Are you doing this deliberately, or it is happening just like that?
So thank you, Ashish. So I adding to what Viral has already said, say the basic question that is there, before understanding how to leverage, we will have to first understand, why to leverage, So is there a necessity to leverage? So if you see earlier, it was not necessary, and people were, even companies were ignoring the chain pharmacies and all. Today, if you see, and you probably will agree with me, if we see the total number of retailers in India, it would cross around 10 lakh plus retail outlets in India, and 2 lakh 20,000 crore business of pharma products. So more than 2.2 lakh crore rupees. Uh, if you see the latest data, though, there is no organized specific data available on what is the actual size of the business being captured by the chain pharmacies and online pharmacies put together. But the estimate says that the business is somewhere around 22,000 to 25,000 rupees, 25,000 crore rupees per year. So roughly we can say that around 10 to 15% probably, has already been captured by the organized sector of pharmacies. So though the number of unorganized retailers, we can say that those traditional shops are still very high, but the type of penetration that these chain pharmacies and online pharmacies are doing, they are very tremendous, and they are penetrating very fast. So now I agree with Viral that it is imperative that we cannot stay unparticipated in this market. How to leverage? Coming back to my previous answer, we will have to collaborate, and we are collaborating. So it is not now only the responsibility of the field sales team, because they would go and make the product available at the traditional pharmacy shops where they have a regular visit, where the decision maker is only the shop owner, who is meeting the representative, and at that point of time he can convince. If you talk about, and if you see the chain pharmacies, Apollo being the largest player, having 5,000 plus retail outlets, MedPlus is the second, and if I count, there are more than 12, 13 players, national as well as regional, who are playing into and continuously increasing their presence in the market. Now, here what happens is, when the medical representative goes there to make the product available, the person whom he sees and meets is not the decision maker. So basically, if you go to any chain pharmacy, people are working as employees there. So they will only jot down what is the new product is being, is launched, or if any particular demand has been created. But the decision maker of, or the purchasing authority is somewhere else. He is not available at all those branches. So it becomes very difficult for the field sales people to actually make the product available. And here actually the role of the SFEs in the commercial excellence, the marketing team, it comes. And as rightly said by Viral, in all big companies now, there is a separate department. So even the PMT is not handling. Even there also, there is a separate dedicated department who is handling the organized sector of pharmacies. Even in our companies where I have worked and I'm working, we have a dedicated department wherein one person is looking after, collaborating with all the pharmacies. So how to leverage? Dedicated department is there who can meet, go there, negotiate, because it's a lot of negotiation is happening. It is not a easy task to make the product available, because they are making the product available at their own terms now. So it's a matter of negotiation, it's a matter of influence, and it's a full-time job. So that is one thing. Number two is, other than the chain pharmacies, now the trend which is coming up is the doctor attached pharmacies and the direct to doctor suppliers. If you see, particularly in the chronic segments, more in dermatology, lot of places in rheumatology, all those cases, even the customers have started their own pharmacies, or the attached pharmacies, or some of their relatives, friends, sitting over there. And the customer is participating in the decision making also. There the approach is altogether different. And to leverage that, uh, what we are doing is, we are using a digital platform wherein it's a app-based platform, wherein the customer is also onboarded, the supplier is also onboarded, the stockist, local stockist from where the product will get supplied, and the company's own. So it's like a platform, like a Zomato, so if somebody is ordering, somebody is delivering, somebody is facilitating in all those things. So all those digital tools are now available for direct to nursing homes, direct to customer supplies, which companies are leveraging, and we are also into that. Uh, Chain pharmacies, a negotiation, a dedicated person, a department is required. Direct to customer supplies, probably all these digital tools are helping us. And in all those traditional retail outlets, the medical representative is still the king. And unless he has some relationship and regularity, it is very difficult to make the product available. So it's a collaboration of medical representatives efforts, a dedicated department for the chain pharmacies, and some digital tools for direct to doctor supplies.
Perfect. So I think the
I
numbers are interesting. You are saying about 10 to 15% of the market is being regulated by the organized sector. And definitely it gives a lot of ease and convenience for the patient to get the medicines easily at the nearby counter, which at the nearby wellness store, or basically a Med Plus or Apollo. So that is the first choice for any patients rather than hopping around different medical stores to get your particular product. So with that, there is a additional question which our participants are asking, which
I think
is going.
Viral has some point to.
Yeah, Viral, hi, sorry, I saw that.
So, see, one more point. The salience of business from this channel is constantly increasing. And if we map the growth of the baseline growth which the business is having and the baseline growth of this alternate channels which is happening, there's a quite variance. They are showing a quite robust growth. And looking at the complexity of what has gone in generating this business, we require a structured division, not just you require a structured sales and marketing team. You required a person who will deal with the negotiation, because even if you are talking about, say, Apollos or MedPlus, these decisions and discussions will happen at very high level, because there'll
True.
be rate contracts, there'll be legalities which will be involved. So we require a quite a structured and focused team. It will be similar like to one of the therapy divisions. So if a company is managing, say, 10 therapies and they have 10 divisions in that therapy, this will be like an 11th division, which will be collaborating with all 10 divisions to have a seamless availability in all these retail channels.
Perfect. I think it's a good point. So the participants are getting a feedback saying that if you are planning to list your products to the chain pharmacy, it is always good to have a dedicated team who can leverage the relationship with the chain pharmacy, have the rate contracts in place, and then ensure that your products are available in every corner of India. So with that, we are now going to the second question, which is a dimension which is going to revolutionize the Indian pharma industry and the convenience for the patients. We have talked about quick commerce impact in the FMCG sector with the inroads of Zepto, Blanket, and now we are talking about quick commerce in the pharma industry. So how is e-commerce, quick commerce, going to change the dynamics of availability in the years to come? And how this particular sector, what exactly is your focus to leverage this particular sector of quick commerce? Now we are talking about making the delivery of the medicine at the doorstep. So, Rupesh sir, we'll start with you. What exactly is your thought? How do you feel that you would like to leverage the quick commerce channel? We are talking about Swiggy, Zepto. They are all running in the space of making the medicines available at the doorstep.
Yeah, so everybody is looking at this opportunity of a big market of more than 2 lakh plus 1,000 crores yearly. So, all these quick commerce companies also would like to come here, because they already having a field force who are delivering the product. So if they can deliver food items, why not medicines? Is the thought that they are having. But one thing to understand here is that there is a lot of regulation here in the supply of the medicine. It is not that easy like a grocery items or an FMCG items wherein you can just go purchase and deliver it at the doorstep of the consumer. When it comes to medicines, Schedule H drug, prescription drugs, all those things comes, and you cannot dispense a medicine without a valid prescriptions and without a valid drug license to store the medicine. So though it is a recent phenomena in last 1.5 years, we have seen that quick commerce companies like Zepto, Blinkit, 1mg, even they have started their own, they are pitching into it. But currently they are facing a lot of regulatory hurdles. So as I understand, and if whatever knowledge that I have, Zepto has got license for dispensing drugs and delivering at 4 locations across India in 4 metros, and they have started doing it. But having said that, once these guys are coming into it, all these online pharmacies also uh, are increasing their delivery, convenience to the patient. And I have seen now, like, pharmacy has already started same day delivery. So they are collaborating with the local retailers pin code wise, and they are making sure that they do not lose out to the quick commerce. In fact, they only are able to supply within 5 6 hours within the same pin code. There are the traditional shop owners wherein the telephonic supplies have already started. So if I have a medical shop near my house, if I give them a call, they will deliver the medicines at my home, and probably they will not even ask for a prescription upload. Okay, so quick delivery for the convenience of the patient, everybody will start within their own vicinity. So how much success this quick commerce dedicated companies which are merging this with grocery and FMCG and food items, how much success they will get is only the time will tell. But as far as the customer is concerned, the customer is a king. Customer will be a king, and he will always get whatever he wants as quickly as possible. And there will be so many formats of business who will be ready to deliver it. Okay, so quick commerce is there to stay and to grow further. Now, who is going to deliver the goods is only that we have to see who can grab this market.
Great. Viral, we were talking about the 2 Ds, which is delivery and discount. So keeping that in mind, do you feel this particular model is sustainable? And do you think this is going to be a blessing, or it is going to make the life of a pharma industry more complex?
So, Ashish, I was having a discussion on this topic with the co-founder of MyRx. Now,
Okay.
they are specifically into this space, and as of now, they're not available across India. They'll be soon launching. They've
Yeah.
already started partnering, and they're doing at some back-end work. And the stats which Saurabh, who is co-founder of our MyRx, he was discussing, it is really fascinating. I mean, you will feel that this is one space which is one should look forward, because see, one, as we were also discussing earlier, that the consumer behavior is changing. Now when I look at to my lifestyle also, especially in metros, now we have moved to quick commerce. We are so much aligned and addicted to that 10 minutes delivery, and because of a busy schedule, no, somewhere that planning part has also gone out of our schedules. So earlier, when we used to plan and go to the grocery stores once in a month, make a list of it and bring everything, that is somewhere diminishing. We are relying on to that 10 minutes delivery. Neither, and everyone is part of the same ecosystem, whether it is HCP, whether it is patients, everyone. So the overall behavior is changing. Now, currently, if we look at the stats, Zepto, every day, they are honoring 50 lakh orders. An average cart value of Zepto is nearly 2 to 300 rupees. Now, for a company also, for a Zepto also, because they have to stay in this space and their aspirations, what I was reading in certain reports, that Zepto, Blinkit, Instamart, or Swiggy, they are planning to have nearly 2.5 lakh prescriptions to be honored on per day basis. So definitely there is going to be the entire ecosystem which will be built. Presently, I don't, in my perspective, it is not as evolved, because here in this speed is one thing. But in accordance to that, one more thing which is important is safety. As Rupesh ji was also mentioning, Schedule H drugs. So how the entire back end working, the validation of prescription, keeping that 10 minutes into the consideration. So the prescription validation somewhere takes nearly 2.36 minutes. So partnering with the vendor who can actually, so for the e-commerce point of view, they need to have a vendor who can actually validate their prescriptions which are coming in the shorter duration, and the rest 8 minutes or 7.5 minutes can be utilized for the delivery. Now, what also is changing because of the urbanization, or see, because of see, most of the people in house are in office, and our house, it is becoming more of nuclear family. So when we talk about our parents, like I also do, you order medicines for my parents onto 1 mg, but if it is available on Zepto, why not? Because in any case, you are ordering atta, dal, chawal in one cart and paying delivery charge. So in same delivery charge, if I add medicine, so for quick com also the average delivery cart value becomes nearly 800 rupees. And for a consumer also, in one delivery cost, I can order everything which is required. So similarly, how the e-pharmacies or the retail chains have evolved, this will also evolve gradually. But looking at the change in in the consumer behavior, it is important that we participate as a company, as an industry. We must be very vigilant onto the changes which we are happening. Now, see, once these companies like it is in news that Instamart, Swiggy is already looking for the license. Long back, long ago, also Snapdeal initially started, but because of the regulation, there was a challenges. 2017, 2018, there were multiple regulatory evolution which happened. Now,
True.
once these companies, so Zepto has nearly 900 dark stores. Blinkit has nearly 2,700 dark stores. So once they get the license for this, so presently they can't run 24 by 7. But once they have a license for medicine, their cost of running also comes down. So probably they will be in a position to give a better discount to get those early prescription, because their
Yeah,
profitability goes up. Currently,
absolutely.
these companies are operating at nearly 37% gross margins as a profit.
Right.
So we must look at this aspect, because we are delivering, we will be present, because we have to be, our strategies has to be akin, forward looking, that how consumer behavior is changing.
Hmm.
And I was talking to one of our business head, he said, डॉक्टर भी वही बोलेगा कि आप तो आप भी सब कुछ 10 मिनट में ऑर्डर करते हो, तो आप पेशेंट को क्यों नहीं दे सकते 10 मिनट में?
Hmm.
So from that perspective, and keeping that future trends which are upcoming, it is important that we have strategies in place right now. Many companies, along with these e-pharmacies, they're also partnering with this quick com. But definitely this is a space which will gradually evolve. But we must be very, very and closely vigilant about this particular segment.
Perfect. So, as rightly said, the consumer behavior is actually motivating us to change the model of the business to make it more convenient for the patients by making it available at the doorstep, keeping in mind the regulatory compliances. And obviously, the standalone chemist is also being on the toes in terms of providing this service to the nearby patient and making the medicines delivered at their doorstep. So keeping in mind, no, the chat is really buzzing with a lot of questions. I'm sure Viral and Rupesh, you may have to really hold after 1 o'clock to answer to the questions which are coming from the participants. And now we are talking about targeting. So they are various steps which are evolved by various companies in terms of making the medicines available with the help of the team. There are various tools or processes which the company really uses to make the product available. So, with your practical experience, Viral, you come with a SFE background and you have been working with various pharma companies. Now you're there with Lupin. When we talk about availability, the two things which comes to my mind is RCP and POB. So, what are the tools and practices that any company should really do as a must thing when we are talking about mapping availability? Viral, over to you. What exactly do you do to ensure that your tools and practices are there in place to ensure that availability really happens? So
Right.
these are the weapons that you are actually giving to your field force.
True. So as you mentioned, Ashish, RCPA and POB, these two are actually the pillars. And this practice has been there into pharma industry since ages.
True.
Now, has this practice evolved? So I was sharing this instance with you that this has become like a ritual कि डॉक्टर के कॉल के बाद आरसीपीए करना है, केमिस्ट भी फिक्स है विच केमिस्ट वी हैव टू गो, किसके पास करना है, बट क्या क्वालिटी ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इज कमिंग? And now in most of the company, see, these are all mandatory fields to be updated in their SFA system. Doctor का call करना है, which chemist you met, in system itself, the chemists are tagged with the doctor's name. But this is more like a formality. I mean, are we really, is it effective? Is it, what is the sanctity of that data? So long back when I had gone on field work, nearly say 18 years back, there was this medical rep who was doing RCP, and we were also there doing RCP at the chemist level. This medical rep came on the bike. He was wearing a helmet. He asked chemist कि हाँ मेरा चल रहा है ना, डॉक्टर साहब लिख रहे हैं प्रिस्क्रिप्शन. He said लिख रहा है. After he left, I asked chemist कि कौन सी कंपनी का था. He said पता नहीं कौन था. So, so this is also happening. So because it is ritual, we are making at a company level, we are making it so mandatory.
Yeah.
Somewhere there has to be a triangulation of the data which is there. It
Hmm.
is part of the review, because let's not have it just as a ritual or as a mandatory field that
True.
if you don't update your RCPA number, if you don't update how many prescriptions doctors have written, you can't file your report.
Yeah.
But it has to be more of an interactive and a qualitative decision. Now, see, many companies, they are also having a Gen AI layer onto their SFA platform.
Yes.
So this information, it becomes a humongous data, and we can't expect our sales team to go into details and the nitty-gritties and nuances, because it is humongous data. Even if they take a Excel dump out of it, imagine for the 110, 120 doctors whom they are meeting, and probably 200 retailers they might be meeting. At a medical rep, he is already occupied with so many work during the day, so many to-do lists. So expecting a medical rep to analyze that data will be asking too much for them. But if we can help and enable them with AI, with Gen AI available, which can give them nudges that, last time you did RCPA, doctor is writing prescription, and which is also linked to the POB. Most important is that whatever task we are giving to our sales representative, is it adding quality both to the company and to them? Or are we just adding one more task in our medical reps bucket? So this can actually generate a very quality data which can propel the availability if the appropriate analytics are drawn out of it in a simplest manner. Not asking medical reps to make additional reports, not asking them to do some additional analysis, but from the tech solution, if we are able to give them, this can really be a game changer in medical rep, and it can make their life easier.
True.
So I personally feel that whatever we are launching, whatever tech solution, don't launch it to look fancy because everyone is doing it and because the technology is new.
Hmm.
Is it making medical reps' life easier?
Hmm.
That should be the objective. And if all the solutions, if we are launching with that perspective, it can solve multiple business issues.
Great. So you are saying don't follow the trend, but see the relevance.
Yes.
So if it is definitely relevant, please go for it. So with that in mind, we also are having a time here in check. So we've got the fourth question, which is coming our way, which now I would like to ask Rupesh, what are the critical steps any person or any pharma marketing person should take to ensure availability across the trade channel before launching a new molecule or a brand? I understand you have handled across therapies, acute, chronic, specialty, super specialty. What exactly should be the approach, Rupesh sir?
So, uh, see, the approach has not changed. The approach is the same, that if you are launching a product, the product first has to be made available in the field. So we as a marketeer would always insist on first make the product available and then launch. So we have been following this practice. But having said that, we will also have to understand, and we are doing it, that the challenges which the medical representative is facing in making the product available in this highly competitive market. So naturally, one is that instructing them, requesting them to go and make the product available, and the other thing is that uh, how are we supporting him, how are we giving him different tools, how are we giving him some resources so that it becomes easy for him to go and make the product available. So it's all about it. At the end of the day, the medical representative will remain the hero in this entire game, because still 95% of the pharmacy stores are the traditional pharmacy stores, where it is because of the medical representative, the field sales people visit, the product gets available. The chain pharmacies, the online pharmacies, the hospital business still constitutes only 10 to 15% of the business, and they still constitute about 15 20,000 stores as compared to more than 10 lakh stores. So so the major stake is in the traditional setup of business, and the field sales people will come in handy for making the product widely available. How to support them? One, of course, is giving them some tools in hand, which we are doing. Like recently, special visual aid for the retailers and given it in the hands of the medical representative. So one is that they go, they even enter the shop properly, and from there only they ask product and all those. From here to a systematic approach of visiting the retailer at his convenient time, like you are meeting a customer, a doctor, and showing him the products, not only speaking about from the mouth, but showing him through a dedicated organized visual aid about the products, wherein your prices are also mentioned, the pack size is mentioned, the bonus offers, if there are any regular bonus offers, particularly in the acute segment, that is mentioned. So in one, so it is actually hearing and seeing both. So we have adopted this approach, and it has become widely popular that preparing a dedicated visual aid. So that is one support which has been given to medical reps. I'm sure a lot of companies are doing it. The other is the support of the line managers. So now in all our divisions that we are working, we have made it mandatory for the line managers also to do RCPA and put it in the portal. So now it is not only the medical representatives, but a further validation. So first line manager is going, he is doing an independent RCPA, and whatever that is his understanding, along with his reporting, he will put. Even the second line managers also, we are making it now not a mandatory, but it's a system that we are trying to inculcate, that everybody reports RCPA. So even if there is any cross check that we need to do in terms of sensitizing, then we can do it from the head office. The third support that we can give to the medical reps, which we are doing, a lot of companies are doing, and 10 years back we have done, is incentivizing the retailer for making the product available. It works when the product is new. If you are going to launch something new and product availability becomes very, very critical, so we are incentivizing, like there are some in kind or a cashback type of a thing, which digitally you can use so many platforms and you can validate the data. I think you are also involved in this, and I think a couple of times we have taken your help also in this. Once I think 10 years back in IPCA also we did it. So all those facilities are now available, which earlier were not available. So marketing team is now leveraging it in using all these techniques also to support the field sales team to make the product available. So the communication tools, the managerial support, the campaigns which are there, so incentivizing the retailer on this, and side by side, the separate dedicated department which is there, those guys will make the product available through their negotiation skills in the chain pharmacies and in the online pharmacies. Those things can be done, which will require a little of pricing setup, yeah, discounting setup, which can be handled from head office. But for 95% of the retailers which are there in the market, medical representative, there is no alternative to a medical representative who is going to make the product available.
Medical rep definitely plays an important role. The feedback, the practical input or tip that you are giving to us is a visual aid, a detailing activity for the chemist store, so that they are aware about the product and they are excited to stock and sell your particular product. So with that, we've got so many questions which are coming in the chat itself. And I would not definitely like to move forward in terms of what we would like to talk in the next part, which is basically announcing winners also is important for us. People are waiting for that. And I would request everyone to please give in feedback of the webinar in terms of relevance of content and how exactly you would like to see the webinar in the coming days. So as a practice, we have been doing this religiously every month, one webinar, which is of relevance to the pharma industry. Our intent is purely to understand what are the needs, challenges, problems, aspiration of the pharma industry, which will help us to serve you better. With that, I would also like to tell you what we have been doing. So please give in this particular feedback. You can scan the QR code or follow the link which is put in the chat by my team. So talking about Medgini, we have been serving the pharma industry since 2012, serving the pharma industry from connecting the chemist and doctors with the largest reach of chemists, which is about 5,15,000, where we help companies to create awareness, availability, visibility, mobility, and loyalty solutions. We have also crafted custom applications for patient engagement for large companies straight from Cipla, Dr. AD Labs, Lupin, and many others. So we'll be happy to engage with you if you have challenges with regard to awareness availability, and our team will be able to customize the solution for you. We are available in Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Bangalore. My team is looking forward to meet you if you have any challenges. With that, we come to the end of the webinar. The webinar is supported by my team who is working at the back end to ensure that the registration happens seamlessly, to ensure that you get a seamless experience, to ensure we get a good speaker to talk about on relevant topics. We also take these particular questions very seriously because these are feedback which we keep getting from the pharma industry, from brand managers, and this is what we talk about. So, with that intent, on behalf of the speakers, I would like to thank all of you. The winner announcement is happening. I get the list from I got this list. The three winners for today who will be getting the book, which is Sentiment Analysis for Pharma Marketeers, is one Mr. Ratan Rajak. If you're there with us, team, can you please spotlight Ratan Rajak? So these is
Hi,
no correct
Ashish.
or right or wrong answer. This is hi Ratan. Where do you join us from?
I'm from Faridabad.
Okay. And what do you do, Ratan?
I'm a marketeer for Psychotropics India Limited.
Okay. Thank you so much and congratulations. The book will be delivered to you. And
Thank you. Thank
the
you.
second winner for today is Manoj. There might be many Manoj, but Manoj from Bangalore. So can you please spotlight Manoj? Team, can you please spotlight Manoj if Manoj is still there with us? Great. So the third winner for today is Tarun Shetty. He is from Mumbai. Team, can you please spotlight Tarun?
Tarun is not available, sir.
Okay, great. So the winners will be contacted and the speakers will also be given the book from Medgini, which is Sentiment Analysis for Pharma Marketeers. The author for the book is Subba Rao. And now we'll be taking up the questions which are coming up. I don't know how much justice we can do keeping our time in mind. But we would like to definitely pick as many relevant questions which will address the common problems for the people. So let me pick the one which is of relevance to all of us. In the meantime, you can also put in your question so that we can pick it faster. Yeah, Sailesh asked that please include more examples for the current pharma industry, especially regarding development in online pharmacy. That was a key point missing in the webinar. Sailesh, thank you so much. I definitely will take that particular feedback and incorporate in the coming sessions. Yes, so let me pick up that particular question. So there is one question which has come from our past speaker, Manas Das sir. He's talked about how effective is quick commerce in tier 2 and beyond markets. Viral, would you like to address this particular question which is coming from Manas Das sir?
Yeah, so very relevant question. As of now, their penetration is largely restricted to metros and class one town.
True.
In tier two, they are still entering. So as I mentioned that this is an evolving field. So recently, only yesterday, I saw that now they're live in Nanded, Zepto. So
Wow.
definitely, I think the expansion is happening. It will take certain time, but definitely the way they are expanding, they will be available across the India because the behavior which is there, the ease which is being provided will not just be restricted to the metros and class one. Looking at our India as a country, our GDP growth and the way we are expanding, certainly in class two also, presently it is not available, but definitely in a span of time, in next horizon of 3 to 5 years, definitely this is going to be available. From the
Perfect.
reports, this is based on the reports which I've been reading about it.
Right. So I've been to a place called Shegaon, which is in Maharashtra, and definitely it's a tier three, tier four city where we have seen wellness forever being available, and they have also provided the facility of delivery of medicine. So the chain pharmacy may also transform being into a quick commerce player because the medicines are available. They have invested in the real estate, and the resources are already there in place. Medicines are there in place, demand is already there in place. This is just a service which they would now like to provide to their customers.
Mm.
And definitely we see that particular service may be started out by any pharmacy. But yes, this chain pharmacy are also getting penetrated into tier four cities as well.
Right.
Right. So there are a few more questions which are coming in. Hariharan is talking about stock availability depends on trust and how quickly it is liquidated. Initially, any new product to be launched need to be launched to a shop near to the doctors where we target and take the commitments. How best the MR does the chemist expiry and near expiry and non-moving products, he gets the priority. So, Hariharan, well, the question which you are talking about here is liquidation of the stock and making the product available at the wrong outlet definitely is a sin. I can say I can use that particular word because it comes back to you in terms of returns and expiry. Uh, Rupesh sir, with your experience, what has been the rate of return and expiry? With your experience you have handled across four divisions in Valis.
So when it comes to new products, people are very cautious. Even the retailer also would not make it available only because somebody is approaching them and asking it to be made available. It is
Yeah.
always a targeted task. So, and it also depends on how much is you are scaling the brand at the time of launch. So whether it is a small level launch wherein you are launching to say 10 doctors in every territory, or whether it's a big high scope product where you are launching it to say 50 doctors, 100 doctors, you are going into masses. And probably if such type of approach is there wherein you want to make it very big brand right from the launch because you feel that it's a early bird advantage, or it's the scope is very high, then probably you will go and would like to make it available across 50 retailers, 100 retailers. But having said that, that always becomes a very difficult task. So what we do in marketing is we pinpointedly target, rightly said by Hariharan, is that whatever doctors, you first select the doctors. Once you are done selecting the doctors where you are going to launch, then the nearby two or three retailers where the 60-70% of that doctor's prescription goes, there you make the product available in small quantity, 2 strips, 3 strips. And continuous after the doctor visit, you have to visit the retailer and ask about the information about the liquidation. That is the way that. And usually in the first 3-4 months, even the marketing team also chases the field people on the liquidation part. So I'm not only talking about the secondary but even the tertiary part, so from the retailer whether it has been liquidated or not. So 3-4 months everybody will be there, but if in first 3 months if the prescription does not hit the retailer, then it's a problem, and then you have the chances of getting it returned. I have
True.
not seen in my personal cases wherein I have launched the product more than 10-15% of the products getting returned. So because of the continuous follow-ups and chasing the people wherever that we are making the product available, we and make it sure that the repeat purchases happens
Perfect.
through generating the demand. Because first time you can make it available. Second time if he has to purchase, he has to have a valid prescription from the doctor.
True.
So after the initial availability, everything boils down to prescription generation. And once it starts, then that rolling starts, and then the
That's
problem becomes less.
So there is a very interesting perspective that you have given to us, and there is a very complex question, or probably the very challenging question, which is coming from Minod Kumar. He says, "Are these quick commerce platforms and online retail chains can substitute prescription medicines? If not, then generating RX comes before availability." RX generation definitely is the mother of the business, and that has to be given the priority. But availability, if it is not happening, but what Vinod is saying is that if we have done the RX generation, what is the probability that the quick commerce platform and online retail pharmacy can substitute the prescription? Viral, what's your thought? How do you address this challenge which may come?
So see, he has asked a very relevant question that, can they act as a substitute?
Yeah,
Now, most of these companies in their plans, if we read the plans of these quick commerce, that how they are planning to scale up, they already have plan not just for delivery, but they are
true,
also onboarding HCPs in case, like for example, currently in 1mg or in pharmacy, also they have a panel of doctors. In case if you don't have a valid prescription, because these prescription first gets validated, they will have a doctor on board who will say कि आपका prescription valid नहीं है, and we can give you a valid prescription. That is happening. Now, this quick comms in their business plan, they have that they will have doctors panel. They will also have e-consultations, and these doctors can also give them prescription. But this is still in a phase of a business planning.
true,
Now, a question what he is asking that can they substitute? So if there is a prescription where your brand is available, even the chemists they don't generally substitute. So
true.
quick commerce also will not be substituting, and it also depends on the contracts which companies are doing with this quick commerce. In
True.
most of the contracts, see, we cannot tie up with each and every stockist who are serving to the quick commerce.
Yeah,
Most of the agreements they have this clause that whatever business they are generating, they have to buy from these authorized stockists. In case if there is it is not available, they can buy. So 80% they have to buy from the authorized stockist, and in case they are not able to procure it, they can buy on their own 20% remaining. But 80%
true.
of the chances they have to buy from the authorized stockist, which has been agreed into the agreement by the company and
Yeah,
by the party. So
very
that is
true.
point number one. They cannot substitute, but if there is not a valid prescription which is available, in that case, substitution can happen. Most of these, like you say, Wellness Forever or Apollo, even Tata 1mg from the e-pharmacy point of view, all these companies now they have their own branding. So their
True.
first, in case of not valid prescription, if valid prescription is not available, in that case, substitution will happen. So
Yeah,
whatever technology advancement happen, whatever the ecosystem evolves, the basis remains and it boils down to prescription.
true.
That is always going to be there. So there
The
has to
mother
be
of
a valid
business, right?
prescription.
Absolutely.
In that case, it will
Well
not
said.
be substituted, but in absence of valid prescription, there are higher chances of getting substituted.
Yeah, well, you nailed it. I think, Viral, you have shared a very good perspective here, saying that companies, probably the chain pharmacy or quick commerce, don't really substitute. But in case of unavailability of that particular brand, and if the customer is really being cost conscious, then the option may be provided. But many a cases we see that they don't do substitution so easily, because that may really affect the patient treatment journey. There's one interesting aspect which we have not covered today in the session, which is talking about training, which Alok Sahe is pointing out very clearly. He says majority of the companies they are lacking in the aspect because untrained employees and managers, they can be inconsistent sales and high attrition rates with the companies, training and mentoring at a regular basis is required. So you may have the best of the best tools, and end of the day, the tool has to be used by the people to get the required data. And if the people are good salespeople, but they are not trained, the entire activity goes futile. We completely resonate with what you are saying, Alok. Rupesh sir, you would like to add anything on what Alok says on the importance of training and how do you do this
No, I
religiously in your
100%,
organization?
100% agree.
Right. So,
100% agreed with what Alok is that, you whatever tools that you provide, if you don't train the people,
right, perfect. And Manasda sir is sharing one input. He's
no,
saying that a
whatever
good
tools that you
operation will
provide,
have.
don't train, they'll not be able to use.
So Manasda sir is sharing one insight is that the expiry rates in the industry is less than 0.5%. Large companies with RX dependency operate at less than 1% because of the way they do the RCPA. They understand what exactly the stock is moving at the chemist counter and how to rotate the same. So we are talking about the last question for today, which is coming from Subrata Ghosh. I'm sorry if I'm not able to take all your question because of the paucity of time. Subrata is talking about a standalone pharmacy to make available a new product means another investment, blockage of shelf stock with uncertainty of sales. So the ground rule is product will only be made available after there is a steady flow of prescription, not one, but two or three in a quick succession. But in the process, initial RX is lost, and all the efforts put by so many RCPA, validation, etc., are wasted. So that's the reality. So, Subrata, I resonate with what exactly you are saying because initially the chemist will also have his own apprehension in terms of stocking and selling your particular brand because doctor may or may not support. So many a times companies also ensure that they give the assurity to the chemist by telling the doctors has been covered, and there has been cases where they actually carry that particular prescription to the chemist saying that hey, this is the new launch. And many a times we have seen in the past that free samples are given to the chemist just to ensure that the initial prescriptions are not bounced or substituted. So that's what I have seen closely working with many pharma companies, that the initial prescription are definitely a gold mine for their business. And that gives the confidence to the doctor, to the patient, to the chemist to ensure that their journey begins with that particular medicine. So what's your perspective, sir? It's very tricky situation. If I would have been a chemist shop owner, I would equally have my own apprehension to stock your particular product because I have limited shelf space, I have a limited cash capital that I would like to block with you.
Correct, correct. So, what he's saying is already, is always been a challenge. So, whether prescription first or product availability first. So, from the retailers, from the pharmacist point of view, he has to receive the prescription first. But from a salesperson, from a marketeer, and from the doctor's point of view also, say this, we have to understand that even the doctors are asking first whether the product is available, because if we are not able to give them the confidence that the product is adequately available, most of the doctors are not willing to prescribe, because they don't want their patient to go there and find that the product is not available and call back to the doctor and then again ask which is the substitute. So that's the real challenge. But having said that, to address this challenge, now there is a system, particularly in the new launches, is that extended credit systems to the stockists. So
Yeah.
if the credit days are say 6 7 days, then for the new product 15 days, 21 days credit has been extended to the stockist for keeping the stock. And the same credit days, we request the stockist also to give it to the retailer where it is making available. So it is not a new investment for the retailer. He has to only give some shelf space. He has to keep the product, and then the medical representative will ensure that within next 15 20 days the prescription comes. So that type of an arrangement is going on currently in the pharma industry and with the trade chain partners, and probably that is working well.
Perfect. Great. We are talking about one more input which is coming from Hariharan. We says that free samples either to doctors or chemists are not advisable because they keep the stocks at the retail level with the stockist corporation with extra time for the payment maybe. Yes. So this is a very tricky situation because in the initial few 15 days or 1 month of the launch where you want the prescription to be honored. I think making the product available at the chemist counters is very important. Companies have been religiously able to do it using a POB activity, personal order booking, where people identify the outlets where they would like to make the product available and how they would like to incentivize the chemist to make the product available, or also give the confidence saying that the doctor's prescription will be coming. If it is a RX product. If it is a OTC product, the strategy will be very different. But yes, in case of RX product, it is very important for us to give the confidence to the chemist saying that the doctor will be prescribing the same. And if the doctor is not prescribing, it's very important for us to analyze the situation timely and course correct it, because chemists uh, are going to be your last mile fulfillment partners. And if they are available to make your product available, and they will lose your confidence if they feel that their money is stuck on a particular brand. So many companies are able to do it religiously if they are in regular connect with the chemist. Yeah. So with that, we come to the end of the webinar. Thank you, Rupesh sir. Thank you, Viral ma'am, for your valuable inputs. And I really look forward to meet you in person. On behalf of Medgini team, Surya, Renuka, they have worked really hard to keep this in momentum. And we really thank all the participants to be there with us today. Viral ma'am, last thoughts from your side.
Thank you, Ashish, for arranging this very insightful conversation.
Thank you, ma'am.
And there were many good questions also, which are there, all relevant topics, whether it is e-pharmacies, quick commerce. Most of the companies are discussing about it, taking actions and strategies onto that. And one more, see, closing remarks will be, as I mentioned earlier, that prescription will remain basis of the industry no matter whatever is the technology, however the technology evolves. Everything and everything in our industry will revolve around generating prescription. Only thing is that how we monitor, how we service, how we are encompassing the entire universe, entire gamut will change. But the core methodology of working has remained same, because we are not just dealing with the product, we are dealing with the health, we are dealing with people, we are dealing with life. So we have to be that much cautious in terms of any technology we are using, any channels we are using, how we are servicing to our patients is the prime objective of the industry. You, not audible, Ashish.
Yeah, Rupesh sir, last thoughts from your side. Thank you, Viral.
So thank you, Ashish, for having me here, and very interesting topic. Thank you very much all the participants also for your active question asking and all those things. So, what I feel is that 1 hour is not enough. It's a very vast topic wherein if you have to you have to share your experiences and have some mutual learning, then you have to have it like a workshop. This is a topic which basically deserves a 3-4 hours minimum workshop. Probably in future, if sometime
Sure.
everybody interested, we can think of that. But having said that, I 100% agree with Viral that prescription generation is the key if you want to make the product adequately available, and if you want it to get established repurchases. And medical representative will always remain the hero in this entire process. So we will have to respect him. We will have to respect his challenges. We'll have to keep on supporting him, the entire marketing team and in the entire SFE team. And probably that is how it will go in the next 30-40 years to come. That process is not going to be substituted. So all the very best for all those guys who are there in the field sales and they are attending here. And for all those people who are from product management and are there, I see a lot of people from my team also, were there. So for them also continuously supporting the medical representative in making the product available, supporting them with a lot of new innovative tools and making the product available, taking charge, particularly for the organized sector. is what is the need of the hour.
Well said. Thank you so much. And I request all the participants to join the WhatsApp group where we keep informing you about the upcoming webinars which we are organizing, the speakers, and also white papers. We keep getting a lot of market research reports from the agencies, which we share it on a goodwill basis. And we request you to please participate and be there with us. And thank you so much and wish you all a happy weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks,
sir.
everybody.
Hello. Can everyone talk? Hello, sir.
Yeah, Ravi, we are able to hear you. Please.
Yeah. I requested the books for the active participants since we are requesting for the book which will helpful for the necessaries in future.
Sure. Where are you joining us from, Ravi?
Chennai.
Okay, great. Congrats.
Myself,
And
Ravi Kiran, product
which
manager.
company do you serve, Ravi?
Meadow Farm. Meadow Farm.
Meadow Farm. Okay.
Yeah.
So what
Since
I would definitely ask my team to get in touch with you. This particular book which we are talking about is Sentiment Analysis by Subarov
yes.
sir. And this particular thing will be of use to you. As a special case, I can tell my team to reach you out and send this particular book to your doorstep.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Since if I
will
reach
that be of help?
pick out, I'd be more happy. Even though I'm sharing my contact number in the chat box, so your
Yes.
teammates can easy to
So,
contact me. Sir.
thank you so much for sharing that. Renuka, please reach out to Ravi Kiran and ensure that we order a copy of the book.
Thank you so much for this stuff. Since it will be very helpful to us, sir. Thank you.
Definitely, Ravi.
Since we are in product team, sir, so that we can able to focus on this and in upcoming webinars we can actively participate, which will encourage our team also. Since
Certainly,
in our team
certainly.
almost 8 people were joined in this webinar
Okay, great.
from
Thank
our
you so much,
company.
sir. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for joining. I am really
yeah,
deep-hearted that you all team have spent your time with us today. And please do give
yeah.
us the
Thank you, sir.
feedback so that we
Yeah, I
improve
filled the
on what
Google
exactly we
form
do.
feedbacks, everything actively. Every people we had been used filled it.
Sure,
Thank you for a
definitely.
valuable time. Also, it's very
Yeah.
grateful and energetic to us.
Fine, sir. Fine. Next time we are there in
Thank you.
Chennai, I definitely look forward to meet you in person.
Yeah, sure. In chat box, my number is there. You can contact
Yes,
me. We can meet up. If I
definitely,
came to
Ravi.
Mumbai, we'll definitely tell you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah,
so
thank
much,
you.
Ravi.
Yeah, thank you, sir.